Universal Studios Theme Park Adventure! Hello boys and girls, I still have no name. When we started reviewing games almost 75 years ago, we promised that we'd someday review Universal Studios Theme Park Adventure. And now, that gloriously momentous day is upon us. Let's jump straight into the review! You can see that this game has a lot to offer. 6 minigames and a full theme park to explore. Actually, at first, you can't do any of the minigames at all, that's right! In an effort to clean up the streets of Universal Studios, the game makers have gone green and forced players to collect trash for an hour before they can unlock caps that will let them enter each game. Don't believe me? Observe the trash picking! After you've collected enough trash, you'll be able to purchase a cap for each ride. Here's our breakdown for each level. There are 6 mini games. There will be 6 mini reviews adding up to a grand total score. Our scores will be based on graphics, tightness, and oral. Easy enough? On to the reviews! We start off with the iconic film Jaws. Just like the movie, you're under attack from the predator from down below and not down under like those mysterious crabs I have. You must first grab hold of any of the conveniently placed items on the deck of the ship. You must then throw them at Jaws as he approacheth. Just observe the volumetric fog and intensely detailed water that surrounds the craft. Also note the physics at which your character can manipulate the craft's surface. After repeatedly throwing debris at Jaws over and over and over and over and again, you will then defeat Jaws and jump for joy. Hooray! On to the score! Graphics. This game has some slick visuals. The water, the fog, the Jaws. 4.6. Tightness. This game has some serious tightness issues. I would venture to call it flaccid, or was it placid? 6.7. Oral. The oral is the strong point, as oral always is. John Williams' score duplicated at a low 1998 MP3 standard. Oralicious. 2.1. On to the next review. Wild, 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 wild west! Just when you think the old days of target practice are over, they are! The premise of this game? Shoot targets! Poorly! The analog controls for this near unresponsive game are exhilarating. Just when you think you have a target locked on, you miss it! Truly outstanding! The visuals must be an homage, once again, to the N64 era. The textures are there in full force, staring into your pitiful soul. Once you've lost the game, it is over. Truly remarkable. On to the score! Graphics. This game does indeed fall under the better than Xbox 720 range, 18.5. Tightness. This game is looser than a Vietnamese tranny posing as Philip Seymour Hoffman, 0.32. Oral. This game gives oral, 5.4. On to the next review! Of all the games included on this putrid disc, Jurassic Park has to be one of my favorites. Not only does it have nothing to do with the movie, but it's uglier than B. Arthur singing in the Star Wars Christmas special. You're a kid on the back of a Jeep. You shoot an endless barrage of dinosaurs with your trusty laser lock-on beam. You shoot, and you shoot more, and then you shoot more. You take out extinct animals as the Carmageddon 64 backgrounds change before your eyes. The real-time damage to the Jeep is a true treat to the eyes, even though they drove Ford Explorers in the movie. Wow! We've sped up the action so we can get to the best part, the end. The mission takes a whopping 15 minutes of repetition to complete. In the end, you take out T-Rex and make a death-defying jump over a babbling brook. This game has to have the most extensive scoring system ever devised. Really, just look at the totals, which have been sped up as well. All scores are based on the factor of poop. The zeros must mean you can get a score of over 1 billion. Time to practice and beat the high score in my death. On to the score. Graphics. This game needs a medal for its graphics. They're as repetitive and bland as Ben Stiller's acting disabilities. The climactic jump over the water saves this game from mediocrity, however. 18.23. Tightness, or should I say looseness. The aiming reticule doesn't actually do anything. You simply hover over your foes and lock on. Pretty tight if you ask me. 0.5. Oral. Once again, John Williams' score, sampled at 64 kilobytes per second. Unstanding. On to the next review. Backdraft. I sort of remember this movie as a kid. Kurt Russell made a lot of grunting facial expressions, and one of the Baldwins was in it. So here you are. You enter a burning building and put out fires. You consume the people you rescue and shoot your trusty hose at the flames. There are well-placed obstacles like walls and doors that will stand in your way from completing your goal of eating as many distressed people as possible. Of all the games on this disc, this one has the most sizzle. Zzz. Yeah, so there's fire, water, onto the score! Graphics. This game has a surprising amount of flames. The slowdown can make it nearly unplayable at times, which simply adds to the challenge. 6. Tightness. There is a serious amount of tightness in this game. Just look at the flames. 4. Oral. The cries from the helpless people will make you want to eat them even more. 23. On to the next review. Back to the Future. My all-time favorite movie. Too bad this has nothing to do with it. Apparently Biff has stolen the DeLorean and he's going through time, and it's up to you to follow him in another DeLorean. Okay, so in Back to the Future 3, there were technically 2 DeLoreans in the past, yet they never give mention to the second one, so Woody Woodpecker somehow found the other one that Doc hid and fixed it up. I'm lost. Anyhow, you follow Biff through time and try to bash his car. I've tried this nearly 20 times and have yet to beat it, so I guess Biff wins no matter what. Never have I seen such incredible car physics. As you thrust your DeLorean forward, it magically mimics your every move. The reflective surfaces must have pushed the GameCube to its limits. So you follow Biff into an ice world. You follow him and keep following him. Then, a fire world in which you follow him more. Anyone else remember this from the movies? I do, when I was on a crack binge back in 1987. On to the score! Graphics. The time travel stuff looks pretty cool, kinda like Chrono Trigger for the SNES, but his retarded brother. Good show. 32. Tightness. This DeLorean handles like a cross between a Toyota Echo and a Dodge Caliber. Simply put, the best mix of the 2 best cars of the last 300 years. 29. Oral. The theme music is there, but then it gets drowned out with generic Japanese stock music. Whoever really liked the Back to the Future theme anyway? Well done, 1.2. And now, on to the final review of this tiring, overdrawn affair. E.T. Adventure. So you're Elliot, and you have to get E.T. to his ship within the time limit. They give you a generous 5 minutes to complete the task. The paperboy mechanics work very well. You press up to go up, down to go down, and back to pull a wheelie and fall. When you hit a jump, you generally fall as well, which adds to the challenge. There's a picture-perfect moment when you clear a valley and clearly infringe on Amblin Entertainment's Splash logo, a first for this game. Once you've traversed the muddy textures, you drop off E.T. at his ship, and he leaves. The end part is the best, as is the case with this entire game. On to the score! Graphics. Do I really need to elaborate further? 5. Tightness. The paperboy physics are outstanding, and the failed jumps will keep you entertained for minutes, if not seconds. 18. Oral. This game gives the best oral of all the games reviewed thus far. 3. So there you have it. We've completed reviewing all of these terribly awesome games, and we've come to a conclusion. There's no point in tallying up all of the scores. To do so would rip a hole in the fabric of time and produce a third DeLorean being chased by a 4-legged T-Rex shooting backdraft fire out of its ass while Jaws gnaws at your soul. You understand, right? Fine, so we'll give it a score. 16! That's it, until we meet again, in the past, or was it the future? Either way, we all lose in the end. Really, did anyone ever actually like Woody Woodpecker as a kid? 2 DeLoreans? Jeeps instead of Explorers? Biff's voice? Backdraft? I know why I waited so long to review this game. And man, was it worth it. This is Christian Fauteux signing off. Time to go get the 1 billion score on Jurassic Park. Wow!